The CFL Gambling Podcast Week 5 preview, picks, and DFS episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with the promo code TCESGPN. So do that, and remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is Eric Metcalf. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Wow! Come to the CFL Gambling Podcast. Boom, bum, 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 bum. Folks, glad to see you again. YouTube.com, CFL Gambling Podcast. You can watch the show, stare at my stupid face. Or you can just do audio. You say, hey, it's hideous what you guys are putting out there. Either way, we are glad to be back and talking to you in some fucking form. And I mean, what an exciting week of CFL action we're going to break down, recap, and then we'll pick the upcoming weekends. I'm excited. I'm one of the only guys I feel like in America that circles 4th of July where I could just have some drinks and watch Canadian football. All right, what's more American than that? If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Don D. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
Nobody knows nothing. Somebody knows. Double the price. But no one touches Dundee.
Well, you know, I had a pretty good weekend. I know if you listen to the show, depends, you know, once you got news that certain guys weren't starting, you held back on a wager. But that's been the story of this season thus far, I would say. The injuries continue to roll on, and players we thought were going to be playing did not play. We will talk about it all, but first I am joined by a man who's always injured. Well, if sick means injured, you know, I don't know. He's talking about, you know, he's got just major problems in all phases of life. But no, I'm hoping he's doing okay because, you know, just how that trip to Tijuana really treats you there. Give it up for the host of the Old Fashioned Football Podcast, and you know, the host of the UFL Gambling Podcast as well. Subscribe to both. Give it up for Justin Mark, aka No Turd. Jmark, how are you, buddy?
Doing good. Yeah, I'm blaming the zero turn. It's the bane of my existence. It's always broken. I shouldn't say that because knock on wood, it is not broken right now. But yeah, doing good. I'm looking forward to this week of CFL. Only went 2-2, so I took a little step back last week, but the two I hit on were 2 moneyline dogs, so I will take that.
Well, first off, I think we should hit on the fact that so you actually bet all 4.
I did. Of course I did.
I pulled off when I got the news about BC. I was like, okay, I'm staying away.
That was smart.
Yeah, but let's jump right into reacting before we show this beautiful slideshow that we have built, including our huge tits parlay. Game 1, never a doubt.
Yeah, you texted me never a doubt.
Never a doubt. I was
covering what the last minute and a half.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers 36, the Edmonton Eskimos 23. I was down at the beach. You know, I flew back from LA and I had to go with a little family trip down. Like I was basically in North Carolina for like 10 hours and then hit the beach, drove down. So I was watching this beach side, nothing like CFL at the beach, but yeah, I was all over this one. Winnipeg's just They're a team that's just on a mission. And shout out to just Castillo and that 23-yard field goal. I mean, I want to know where you're at with now Ford. You played him in DFS, only 6 yards rushing after you touted how great he is. 18 of 29, 252. Now 9 yards of completion, almost about. 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. He actually played a pretty good game. Julian Grant had a big game for them.
Yeah.
What'd you make of this game? I know you lost, but also, are you buying that? Did you see some signs that maybe the Eskimos couldn't be decent?
So first of all, I still think I was on the right side of this thing. Fucking minute and a half field goal cover. I guess that's where it bites you though in the CFL, because those last 3 minutes, that clock doesn't roll the same. So you can get a team that, even though they're ahead, they can't just run the clock out, right?
Yeah.
And then also the defense.
All part of my strategy,
right? The defense for Edmonton, they knew they were going to run the ball, and they still couldn't stop them from getting 10, 15 yards every run at the end there. As far as Trey Ford, I feel like him having the decent, right? He had a decent game. He didn't look terrible. He didn't throw interceptions. He kept them in the game. I mean, it was 23-23 in the third quarter. I feel like that was probably the worst thing for Edmonton. But I also think this is a coaching issue. If you look at their first drive, they are running the RPO, which his 6 yards, only 6 rushing yards. They were running the RPO though, because the defense knows they have to account for his rushing. They marched right down the field. It was a nice scripted first 10, 15 plays, score a touchdown. I think they only did the RPO 2 more times in that game. What are you doing? You have a rushing quarterback. You have 2 running backs in Justin Rankin and Javon Leake that are both good running backs. Why are we not utilizing our team talent to run this RPO, throw the defense off, make them account for both of it? So I don't know if Trey Ford's all to blame. Do I think he's all of a sudden going to have this breakout where everything clicks? No, probably not. But I do think they could win some more games if they utilize him properly. I'm not sold on this coaching. I don't think their head coach, I don't think he has it there right now. So I'm kind of out on Edmonton altogether until this weekend.
I'll tell you this, man, and I think this is a league-wide pandemic over the past couple of years on lack of willingness to run the ball.
100%.
Yeah, I just think they're underestimating. I understand the rules are different, and what's the maximum amount you can gain on a play, on average, I would say. But I still think, as someone who's watched this league a long time, running the ball can be an essential part of this. Where are you at with Winnipeg though? They didn't look the greatest, but they still got a double-digit win.
Yeah, their defense is what kind of surprised me, that it wasn't better there. It looked like they gave up some big plays, but last year I questioned Claros's arm. I said I think it's gone. I don't think he has it anymore. His mechanics look different. I'm wondering if he was just banged up last year. Maybe something was bothering him, because the arm looks fine. I mean, he threw some really nice deep passes. I don't think he's a problem, and I think they're the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, I mean, they put up 428 yards of total offense, but still, the rushing yards 94 to 93, as I alluded to. And look, that was kind of a dead even game when you look at everything. 1 turnover for each team. Obviously, Winnipeg had much more first downs, but I mean, I don't know. I'm on board with Winnipeg, especially we saw the way Strevler looked. They look like they just got an answer for almost everything. Dembski had a big day. Of course, I mean, I picked this game correctly. So, I mean, of course I would have this. Let's talk about the game the only game I didn't get eyeballs on was the Friday game. Had to go out family function thing, but this was a game that I lost. But once again, I thought there was a chance Davis Alexander could play, but I guess we had kind of known by kickoff. This is one I still rolled the dice with, because I was like, how bad can I guess because of Cody Fajardo last season and the year prior, you're just like, how bad can McLeod Bethel Thompson be? But I didn't get eyes on it, so I can't really talk about it. I will say this. Shout out to Hamilton because our future looks a little bit better after this win. But they did dominate really a lot of the stuff. I mean, 318 yards at 241. They outrushed, which was surprising to me when you outrush Montreal. 4 turnovers for the Alouettes compared to 2. What happened? Did you get eyes on this game?
Yeah, I did. They outrushed them, but that's because Montreal gave their running backs a total of 5 carries. You gotta give your running backs a little more. Like you said, there's a pandemic of not running the ball. When I said if Davis Alexander is out, I said on our pick show that I was on Hamilton because McLeod Bethel Thompson, we've seen him in the CFL, we've seen him in the USFL. He's good at doing a lot as far as throwing the ball, passing for yards, but not accomplishing a lot. And that's kind of what we saw. I mean, there were moments where he moved the ball down the field just fine, but they couldn't capitalize on that. Plus he had the 2 interceptions. He's done. He looked past his prime, in my opinion. McLeod's had a good run at quarterback, but I think they should bring in somebody with a little more younger blood for the backup. And then Hamilton, I mean, just same story as last year, right? They put up a lot of yards. Bo Levi Mitchell looked pretty decent. The offense looked good. It was just that the defense was able to capitalize on Montreal's mistakes there. That was the difference in this game, that Hamilton's defense actually showed up.
Yeah. And that would be a huge development, by the way. If they can consistently play at that level, we'll see. But I want to talk about the next 2 games. But before we do that, I do want to let you know that you are listening to the CFL Gambling Podcast. We are part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And you can listen to every podcast we've ever done, every episode on the network for free. Just type in SGPN into whatever you listen to podcast on and hit that subscribe button to the SGPN feed. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride. All right, we are back recapping, and then we will be talking the upcoming week. But this one, I would push back a little bit on, like, I understand Winnipeg's pedigree over the years, but Jmark, there is one team that has ran the ball and ran the ball well, and that is the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I do believe we both rostered. Why am I drawing a blank on the running back right now? Yes, Alouette. Look, they rushed for 188 yards. That's more than I feel like the whole goddamn league combined. All right. 358 yards, dominated. And see what happens when you can successfully run the ball. Almost 39 minutes of time of possession to 21. And I know BC did not have Rourke, right? But still, when you dominate the line of scrimmage like that, and really there was a huge play right before the half in this game that really changed the tide. There was a touchdown pass from Masoli to, I want to say it was McGinnis. I could be wrong. Literally like three plays before the half, or 2 plays before the half. Then there was a hold, I believe. And then the next play, no, it was consuming. The next play, Masoli threw a 90-yard pick 6. So it was such a difference. You would have had the lead going into the half as opposed to, being down 2 scores now. But still, the line of scrimmage, even with that, I don't know that they would have been able to sustain that, because the way that they were running the ball, I'm super impressed. So far, to me, Corey Mace, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, no, they have looked good, but again, they started 4-0 last year, and then they went 1-7-1. So I'm not, I see a lot of things, people sharing on Twitter like this.
The offense is better this year than last year, though.
It is, yeah. And the way they're running the ball is better. AJ Owlett looks great if he stays healthy, of course. Which, knock on wood, hopefully he does. Don't miscredit BC, who ran James Butler 123 yards and a touchdown. Also had a really nice game. Kind of shows you that if you run the ball, like, your offense can open up. The problem for BC was that Jeremiah Masoli was so turnover prone. He did not look good. That's another guy that it made me question, like, why is he on the roster? There's got to be somebody out there that has more potential that can come in as a backup and not make these mistakes. So yeah, credit to Jeremiah Masoli. It's unfortunate that he's not been able to stay healthy through most of his career, especially this latter half. But I don't think he deserves a roster spot at this point. It's almost like, well, he's a veteran, so let's keep him.
Well, what's crazy is Chase Bryce came in and looked pretty good. I mean, he only threw like 4 or 5 passes, but
yeah, looked better at least.
Yeah,
for sure.
He looked better. It's almost like the UFL thing. It's like you got this guy just sitting on the bench. He looks better than Masoli. And I like Masoli, but he's long in the tooth.
Yeah, he is. Also, just wanted to tout real quick that in the Hamilton game, called the Kenny Lawler first touchdown, and in this game called Keon Hatcher, got a 10-1 and a 12-1 there. Gave them both out on VSiN, so hopefully you tuned in.
There we go. And then our mega whale play, which I gave away on Twitter again, in case people forgot, leading up to the game. I said there is no way that the Argos will lose this game. And wow, I mean, what a hilarious game. If you watch this game, how about the what's the safety's name? I'm drawing a blank. Yeah. I mean, just killing it with we had like 2 scores of ridiculous yardage. I don't have it in front of me, but
105-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and then he had 120-yard missed field goal return for a touchdown as well. He's a rookie too. I mean, and this is a guy that, a lot of people make a deal about, well, the ratio of Canadian and American players. This is a guy born and bred in Canada. And I think it just goes to show you that if these guys scout right, they got good players at home there.
Yeah. Sorry, you didn't hear that, right? I had a clip pull up. I was loading up the highlight. Now what's crazy is Argo still couldn't run the ball, just 30 yards on the ground. But I'll tell you this, Ottawa, you almost felt sorry for Dustin Crum because I felt like they kept getting in position to score, and just whether it was the bad interception in the end zone where he put a little too much on it, or the strip where the guy takes it 100 yards, or the blocked field goal, it was just they couldn't get out of their own way. But
2
Ottawa
block goals.
two block field goals.
Insane.
But Ottawa, I think Toronto is showing major signs of life, whereas Ottawa, I'm like I'm ready to say the coaching change might need to be happening.
See, I don't know, because if you don't take if you take Schluka out of that game and he doesn't have those returns, this game's 16-15, Ottawa winning. So I know defense and return game and all that. I know that's part of the game. But I think those were 2 just kind of one-off big plays that they can't count on those every week, obviously. So that concerns me about the Argos as well.
I thought Toronto was moving the ball better, at least in the first half. The second half, maybe they got a little conservative, but the first half, I thought they were moving the ball more successfully than Ottawa. But to your point, I mean, I guess Ottawa did get in scoring position a few times there. Yeah, that was our number 1 lock of the week. Hope you cashed in. And what any other takeaways? I know Toronto has signed Alexander Hollins, which I think is a very good signing. But any other takeaways from the week?
I think it was Montreal that signed him, right?
Oh yeah. What did I say? What did
Toronto.
I say? Okay.
You're still big on those Argos making their comeback now. I get it. No, that was the main thing. I mean, we do have Davis Alexander practicing in a limited fashion. Brady Oliveira is back. Alexander Hollins was signed. It sounds like Toronto will be without Mayan Williams. So then do they rely on Kevin Brown again, who just went 7 for 11 for an average of 1.6 yards per carry? That's got to be concerning if you're Toronto. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess they do have a bye this week, so they're lucky there, right? Don't they have a bye?
No, they do not.
Am I crazy?
They're playing Hamilton.
They play Hamilton, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this. Actually, that might be the most exciting game of the whole week. I don't know, that or Calgary, but.
And I'm also hearing Chad Kelly practicing in a limited fashion, but also there's some buzz that Chad Kelly may not play until way late in the year. And if they're not in it, he's not playing at all. So I'm getting two different reports on what is going to happen with Chad Kelly.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen is the CFL Gambling Podcast is going to have you covered because we are brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. You think you know ball? Okay. Then you have to enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There is no rake, so if entries go above the guarantee, all the extra money goes to the prize pool. Circa Millions. Pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week or go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. There's even a Circa Grandissimo for a $100 million Survivor contest. You must register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, but I mean, come on. It's giving you an excuse to go to the biggest sportsbook in the world, Stadium Swim to Vegas. You got to do it. Sign up in Nevada. You can play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use our promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Yes, MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport. CFL action, MLB, golf, WNBA. Those are all rolling along right now. And of course, college football, NFL futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations as well. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to mybookie.ag with our promo code TCESGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. Of course, that's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back, and let's get on with this show. All right. Because Thursday night, this is probably the game I want to see most, but the Hamilton-Toronto one is up there just because I enjoy the rivalry. Winnipeg heading into Calgary, take on these Stamps who had the week off. Winnipeg laying 3, the over-under at 51.5. I got news for you, Jmark. You can keep your filthy 3 points. All right. Stamps are winning this thing outright. All right. You don't just walk into a stampede and start barking out orders. All right. You get the fuck out of the way. And that's what's happening right here. This will be Vernon Adams' coming out party. And I'm all over these Stampeders. I do like the over 51.5 as well. What are you doing here?
Well, first of all, I messaged you earlier saying this line stinks. I think Winnipeg should be favored by more than 3, which does make me nervous, but I'm not ready to fade this Winnipeg team. They have looked too damn good. I know everybody's crowning Saskatchewan and Montreal. Those in the power rankings, that's what I see the most is the 1 and 2. Not me. I think Winnipeg's the best team in the league. I think they're the most complete. They've got the history, they've got the veteran leadership. Plus, this is the Stampede Bowl. I don't know. They have a trophy for it and everything. And I think, I know Winnipeg has won a lot, but they've also lost a lot recently. 4 of the last 5 Grey Cups, I believe. I think they want to get a little taste of winning a championship here. And so, yeah, I'm all over Winnipeg. The -3, I think they win by at least a touchdown.
Wow. Just falling into the chalk. I can't wait to talk shit. All right.
Spinal.
Better luck next year.
Yeah, you're wrong. Calgary's going to win this game. Dave Dickinson is they're flying under the radar. Our future my future for them to win the Grey Cup, because you didn't take the future. You just took the over on the wins, I believe, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But either way, what do you like on that total? The over?
I do like the over. By the way, our Toronto DFS bourbon battle, I did beat you in that one to tie it up.
There we go. I mean, I was lenient a little bit on the.
You were.
Yeah, not lenient. But yeah, can't wait for that action on Thursday. That is tomorrow. Then Friday, 4th of July, I'm gonna be sitting here. I'm gonna be going around a goddamn powerboat watching the Hamilton Ticats take on the Toronto Argonauts because I can't wait for this game. It's a good little chippy game. Oh, there we go. St. Stephen's. What could go wrong when everyone? And look, the line is telling you, right? Toronto is laying 1.5. The over/under at 52.5. This is not in Hamilton. This is in Toronto. I fucked this up, but I can't wait to watch this game. But I think the message got home for Toronto. I'm on these Argos. I think I want to. Now, to be fair, I didn't watch Hamilton last week, so I don't have as good a read on them. But I have a future on Hamilton. But I just think Toronto showed to me. I thought they looked very focused in that game. So I'm buying in to Nick Arbuckle and Ryan Dinwiddie turning the page. Would like to see them be able to run the ball a little more successfully. We'll see. Because McMahon or whatever the fuck his name is now,
McMahon,
yeah, is out too, I think. But
yeah, he is.
I'm laying the 1.5 in a rivalry game at home. I know these games have been chippy over the years. I feel like oftentimes the team that is, I think last year I kind of had a good pulse on it. I feel like the least talented team normally wins this game. That is why I'm serious. Like, go back. I feel like last year it's a rivalry game. So it's like, I feel like, okay, your season's not working out the way you think. I like the team that has not looked the better thus far this season to win the game. Toronto gets a little win streak going. I'm laying the 1.5. As far as a total of 52.5, I'm going to take the under on that.
Yeah, I'm seeing eye to eye with you on the total there. I like the under as well. I was impressed by Hamilton's defense. So they had some moments and they weren't against the greatest offense, obviously, especially without Davis Alexander. I mean, but I was impressed with what they did, and I think they can build off of that. And Toronto, like I said when we were recapping, Sluka's not going to have 2 more 100+ yard touchdown returns. I mean, maybe he will, but I doubt he will. That's more of a fluke, right? So I'm with Hamilton here. I think they have the better offense. I think they have more pieces right now, and I do think that Toronto will not be able to run the ball, and that's going to cause problems. I don't care if Chad Kelly does come back, which I don't expect. I think they just keep kind of trotting him out there so people have to guess what's going on. I know Nick Arbuckle has looked a little better over, let's say, the last 6 quarters.
I thought he played good last game.
Yeah, last game and then the 2 quarters to end the game before that. So the last 6 quarters, he has looked better, but I still don't trust him. I mean, this is a guy that's thrown more career interceptions and touchdowns. So give me Hamilton to win this game outright. I don't need the points. I'll take them, but I don't need them because I'm taking them on the money line.
All right, I like this. You're going to be so wrong this week. Fantastic. All right, let's jump over to Saturday's action where the BC Lions. Do we have an update on Nathan Rourke?
Limited in practice. That's about all we got. Of course, last week he practiced 75% of the snaps with the first string and he didn't play. So I don't know if it matters.
And Davis Alexander?
Also limited.
This makes it incredibly hard. I'm just going to trust the team that has to go across like the team at home when the other team has to go cross country. And I believe I just like their physicality more.
Yeah.
So I will lay reluctantly. This is the one I feel least about out of the 3. I will lay the 3.5. If Rourke plays, obviously that'll be a different story. I think you take the points if Rourke plays.
Yeah.
I will take the under, knowing that I think both backups are going to play. But I just have a tough feel on this because what happens if Alexander plays? What happens if Rourke plays? I think this is the hardest game on the board this weekend. But give me Montreal, and may God have mercy on your soul. What are you doing here?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Without knowing the quarterback situation, because if one of the starters plays and the other does not, you're going to take that team. If they both play, then I'm taking Montreal, I believe, even though I do think it'll be a really good game, depending on how Rourke's core injury does feel. And if neither of them play and it's the backups, I don't know. I mean, Hamilton just kind of bitch slapped Montreal, which surprised me because the more physical team you would think is Montreal there. But I don't think Jeremiah Masoli has any bounce back left in his career, unfortunately. I mean,
what if they go with Bryce though? Like that's another wild card. This game is really hard to project.
It absolutely is. I'm with you here where I'm going to take the team that I think is better in Montreal. Personally, I'm staying away. I don't think I'll be betting this one unless we get that quarterback news. Then I'll probably jump on one of them. But I think you got to roll with Montreal. I think they want to bounce back. Like you said, the travel situation there, being at home for Montreal, I think all those kind of are going to factor in. So I'll take Montreal. I don't love it though. And I'm with you. If neither of the starters play, take the under. If they both play, take the over.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Then on Sunday to cap off our weekend, these terrible the shit bowl. All right, the Ottawa Redblacks heading into Edmonton to take on the Eskimos. What's the status of Drew Brown?
Since this is the last game, they have no practice report released, so I have no idea.
I mean, this has been killer this year.
Yeah. Well,
I have to take the Eskimos.
They don't practice with pads, so they're not hitting each other in practice. And I think you've made the point before that your body, it's going to adjust if it keeps getting hit, right? If you keep putting it through the ringer, it's going to adjust. If you don't and you're soft,
what is the logic on that?
Player safety. That's all it comes down to. Player safety.
You're a part of fucking planet Earth. Guess what? You're going to die one day. Would you rather not try to win and be great in the time that you're fucking alive and play and go the distance? God, we live in the worst fucking time ever, dude. Yeah. I swear. Like, how can they be this stupid? How can, like, you get a chance? You're only that age. We have talked about this before, I think, with you. I don't know, but I would pay like $5,000 to go back and play football in my teenage years, or I mean, I wasn't good enough to play in my 20s, but I would pay that right now. You are in that era, and I'm talking about a pickup game for free. I would pay to have that experience again. We've lost our fucking sense of fucking what is life, in my opinion. Like, what are we supposed to do? Play fucking football. It's fun. The game is supposed to be fun. Eskimos all day. Fuck the Redblacks. I mean, I don't feel super confident, but I feel like the Eskimos are due. They looked better last week.
Yeah. I mean, I know they lost by 13, but for a while they hung with Winnipeg there. And I think that's very impressive. I think Winnipeg is a much better team than Ottawa.
Yeah. As far as the total, I think I go under on that too. How about you?
I'm with you on Edmonton. Now, if Drew Brown plays, that probably changes everything because he did look pretty good before he got injured. So this is, again, it's kind of a crapshoot, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say, even if he does play, he's going to be a little rusty, and we saw him get hurt because he was playing a little scared. He kind of crumbled and got landed on, fading away from a hit. If he takes the hit, I don't think he gets hurt. So let's just say that Edmonton is more physical here. I'm with you. Moneyline dogs. I don't need the +1.5. As far as the total, if Drew Brown plays, I'm liking the over, but if he doesn't, I'm with you on the under there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously pay attention to the news I feel like that's the story of the season so far. Just pay attention to who the hell is starting. All right, Locke. What's the one you feel best about?
The one I feel best about, with all these, there's some disgusting games. It would have to be one of the first two because we know who's playing in those. I'm locking up Winnipeg. I think they're the best team in the league. I know that that's going against your pick there. Well, for those first two, we aren't seeing eye to eye. So yeah, give me Winnipeg.
We have a battle because that's what I feel best about. I feel best about Calgary. All right, you've had a good run there, Blue Bombers. Oliveira's back, I hear. Have fun with it. Stamps. Yeah, fresh off the bye week, 2 weeks to prep. So we have a battle on our locks. All right.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Look, folks, before we hop into the next segment on the show, I want to let you know that the CFL Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. Look, there's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. So sign up, and when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Yes, you've heard me talk about Rhythm before. They just dropped a game-changing new feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns, or Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data back bets, baby. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. And also get your free 7-day trial period. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right. We are back.
Sorry, I guess I was asleep at the wheel there. Real quick, I know this is the CFL Gambling Podcast, but we also co-host the UFL Gambling Podcast, even though you hate the league. Breaking news. Offensive coordinator Fred Keiss has turned down his offer from Tennessee State to stay with DC next spring.
That makes sense to me. I know that Tennessee State offers more money, but if he gets a chance to be the head coach, I think you can coast into being a head coach faster.
Yeah.
That way. So he's parlaying. He's a little up there in age too. So I think that makes a little bit of sense.
Yep.
You know.
Agreed. It does say head coach Shannon Harris is expected to return, but it is not confirmed yet.
That one I don't know about because he's younger and money is money. You have family. Yeah. It is time for our fantastic, as far as we know, the only place on the internet in the universe that does the huge tits parlay. Yes, it is here. Pick Dundee says you put $50 on the Pam Anderson huge tits parlay of the week, and you get Argos, Alouettes, Stamps, money line. $50 gets you $340.84. So cash that thing in. I can't believe last week didn't hit, by the way, but that was because that they went with Masoli.
Yeah.
Jmark, he also says, no time for turning with Mr. No Turn. Hey, is jumping over to Winnipeg Bombers, right? Well, actually, you explain yourself here because are you doing it with the points or I didn't ask.
Yeah, I'm doing the Bombers with the points. Give me the 3 points. I'm not going to take the money line. They're going to win that easily. But the Eskimos and the Ticats, both money line plays there.
Okay, and $50 will get you $340 or $342. So you get $1 more with Jmark's parlay than mine. Just it's okay. I let him get a win. Let's talk a little DFS action, buddy. How did you find the DFS slate? I think it's been confusing since all these damn quarterbacks are out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the backups tend to, they have different favorite targets they throw to, or they're not as consistent throwing to the main guys. So yeah, that does throw a wrench into it. I was looking, because I keep records of all this shit just for fun. Week 5 is when my DFS started. My picks were terrible last year. So far this year, picks been pretty good. DFS, not so much. Last year, picks were terrible. Week 5 is when the DFS started panning out. So hopefully, fingers crossed, even though, like you said, it has been difficult with these injuries. I do feel good about my lineup this week.
Well, I took your advice. It didn't work last week with only 6 yards rushing. But I just don't know about Ottawa. I think there might be some quitting that team, playing like a bunch of pussies, not even practicing. I mean, you know what I mean? Throwing the ball around, playing the game of grab ass. You know what I mean? Trey Ford, 9,700. Come on, Trey. This is the game. This is the game. This is why you remind Eskimo Nation that you are the quarterback of the future. 9,700. I was either him or Arbuckle for me, and I went with Ford. What are you doing at the QB spot?
I normally do not build my lineup this way, but I picked quarterback last, and that kind of left me limited on options. So I
started Chase Bryce.
No, I did not. Davis Alexander is who I have, but if he doesn't play, same price, or actually, I guess $100 cheaper. Dustin Crum, but Alexander's the play if he plays. If not, it's Dustin Crum going after, like you are with Ford, going after the guys that can run. Now, will they run? I mean, we've seen guys like Trey Ford, Davis Allen. We've seen them not run at times. So fingers crossed that they actually do take off and run. Alexander makes me a little nervous coming off a hamstring injury. Maybe he won't be as inclined to run, but I still like the play. I think he's looked good when healthy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would monitor too. You might be able to find some value there. At the running back spot, I'm really hurt. I'm crushed with no AJ Alouette. He's got a bye week. So I turn back to a familiar foe. Dedrick Mills. Look, he's like is he still lead the league in touchdowns? I feel like rushing touchdowns. I feel like, even though he missed a week, he still might. Alouette maybe passed him. I don't know. But they like to give him the ball in the inside the 10, which I like. So Dedrick Mills, 9,300. Roster me up. I know Winnipeg has been decent on defense, but I'll take my chances with Dave Dickinson's offense getting in scoring position. Did you roster Dedrick Mills?
I did not, but you're absolutely right that they seem to love getting him the ball. He had 3 touchdowns in that one game, I think 2 in another. So they're not afraid to run the ball when they're close to the end zone there, and they do it with him. I went with my most expensive player on my lineup. He was the most outstanding player in the league last year, the Canadian sensation coming back from injury, and that's Brady Oliveira. This dude, he's the best running back in the league. I know AJ Alouette has looked great. Dedrick Mills has looked great. But Oliveira is where it's at. He's 10,000. So he comes with a cost, but I'm trusting in Winnipeg to get this done. I also like that our running backs are going head to head.
Well, I don't get brain bag.
I mean, we're battling the whole fucking episode. Wide receiver wise, my highest priced wideout is, gosh, and I almost didn't play him. I want to play Tyson Philpott, but I need to know. So, folks, if you're wondering why my lineup could potentially change, I'm counting on Davis Alexander playing when I made this lineup. If he doesn't play, I might pivot. But right now, 9,200, Tyson Philpott, Montreal Alouettes wideout. He's my guy. What are you doing as your highest price wideout?
Well, I just noticed my highest priced. I have 2 on that same team, and not knowing what they're doing at quarterback, I didn't want that. So I made a quick change. My highest priced guy, going with a guy that you think is probably going to do well because you're believing in Calgary, you're believing in Vernon Adams, and that's Clark Barnes. He has had, that first week 1, he had 18.2 points with 112 yards. He had 61 in week 3.
What's his price again?
He is 7,500.
Maybe if if Alexander doesn't play, that would be the pivot. Then that would free up a lot of money for me.
There you go.
But I like it. I do like it because I think Calgary's going to be able to move the ball, especially with the week off, studying some film. I'll stay in that game. Look, Dalton shown you the way at 6,700. I think he's healthier this week. And I mean, I do expect scoring in that game. We called for the over in that game. So Dalton Schoen 6,700. Load me up. Did you have Schoen?
I do have Schoen. I think Claros loves throwing to this guy, and Dembski is healthy, but he still likes to look at Schoen. So yeah, I absolutely have him. And at 6,700, I still think that's a really good price for him.
Yeah. And then I did roster. I'm gonna stay in that game. Dominic Rhymes for Calgary. I loaded up on him. 6,100. I know he hasn't been as good as I potentially thought he would be for them, but it's early in the season.
Damn,
Next.
I like that. That almost makes me want to change Barnes, but I'll keep Barnes because if you're good with it, that means we got a battle between Barnes and Rhymes.
Let's go.
All right.
Go.
I do like your Dominique Rhymes play there, though. Shout out to, I promise this is not a burner account of mine, Justin Mark Grind. It's just JM Grind. Can't go wrong with Brady. I agree. My next wide receiver for Montreal to stack with Davis Alexander if he plays, and that's at 7,200, Tyler Snead, who has looked very impressive.
Boy.
Yeah. Double-digit fantasy points through the last 3 weeks here. Yeah, he's one of those guys that you don't think of him as being one of their playmakers, but he is. I mean, he
was having a great season for them last year.
He was
before he got injured. Now here's my thing. If I don't have Philpott, if Alexander doesn't play, I might jump over to him because he's kind of the security blanket in that offense.
Yeah.
I might jump over to him if that happens, but I didn't have the money for him as the final guy. So I went with Kevin Meidel. All right. Not like an old medicine, Midol, right? For Toronto, I think that offense showed some flash last week. I think they're going to continue to jump up there. So Kevin Meidel, 5,200. That offense, I think, will put up some points against the Hamilton defense. Still got to prove it to me. Great showing the other night. But Scott Milanovic, when he's been head coach of that team, their defense has been atrocious. So, give me these. If anything, I kind of wanted to play more Argos, and I didn't. So,
the thing I like about Meidel is so far this year with Nick Arbuckle, we've seen DeMonte Coxey kind of do this in fantasy, right? We've seen Brissett do that up and down games. Meidel's been pretty consistent, so I like that play because I do feel like there's a focus on getting him the ball, that or just Arbuckle seems to like him. My last receiver, let's see, who am I at? Oh, okay. So if I don't have Davis Alexander, I will have Dustin Crum. So I have a player from Montreal and one from Ottawa, and that's Cleo Pimpleton. I know he has not been as big of the offense as he was at the end of last year, but I still think he's a really good player, and he's only 4,900, and I needed somebody that was cheap. So at 4,900, Cleo Pimpleton seemed like a good choice.
I rostered him like half the season last year, so I can't talk shit about it. But he hasn't in similar, similar comparison to Rhymes. They haven't hit.
Right. Yeah.
Waiting for them to. I still feel like they're explosive. Defensively, I didn't have that much money. I had two choices, either BC or the Eskimos. So I took the Eskimos. I think the Eskimos are going to get that win against that filthy Redblacks team. But you started with defense this time, did you?
I did. I wanted that Blue Bombers defense. I know you believe in Calgary, and I get it, but I think the Bombers defense is legit. I think that they're a little embarrassed maybe that they let Edmonton put up 23 points on them, and they're going to want to make a statement. So I went with the Bombers. It's 4,200. So you got to pay for it, but I just trust in this defense.
All right. Well, I can't wait to talk shit to you. All right.
One other betting insight here. Last week, all 4 games, first half unders hit. These games all year, I didn't go all the way back to the beginning of the year. I will do that before our next podcast to see how many have hit. But with these games starting slower, those first half unders have been cashing.
It's a good point. Well, I mean, we don't even have a battle of bourbon, do we?
Yeah, we got you have Rhymes, right?
Yeah, Rhymes against
and Barnes.
Barnes, yeah. All right. Well, look, there we go. I'll win a battle of bourbon. I'll beat your ass. I'll talk shit. Looking forward to it, folks. That is our show. You should be checking out the Old Fashioned Football podcast, though. What are you guys tackling this week?
Starting our division previews. Tonight is the most disgusting division in the NFC South. I don't like talking the NFC South, but we're going to talk them all. So yeah, we'll start that this week, and we're going to have guests throughout the next couple months while we're talking about division previews.
There you go. Whiskey, booze, talking football. What's not to like? Subscribe to the Old Fashioned Football podcast. Also, I host the College Football Experience. We're breaking down all 136 teams, 136 episodes. That's why I look like, Jeff Van Gundy over here. I feel like with the way I've slept over the past week or two. But go check us out and give Jmark a follow on Twitter at Jmarkfootball. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The CFL Gambling Podcast is on Twitter at CFL Gambling Pod. And make sure you check out all the other stuff. Sports Gambling Podcast Network, the College Basketball Experience, Sports Gambling Podcast. We'll be talking. I'll be on VSIN, VSIN. If you're not familiar with that network, Brent Musburger's network, tomorrow night talking CFL action. So hop on over there and check that out. Live TV.
It's a lot of pressure after I gave out a 12-1 on VSIN. Just throwing that out there.
I was on earlier in the year taking the stamps to take down the Grey Cup. So, I mean, that might look horrible in a week. But, folks, subscribe. Tell a friend. Thanks for rocking with us. And till next time, this is the CFL Gambling Podcast. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
It's got me thinking about the good shit the minute that I seen your grill again. It made me good trip, good dog the mind back like dog will wind that. Man, I didn't get mad when you near me hit me tan back, but the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's eating up for real, I'm alive again. And that's the attraction factor. Vancouver, Michigan with my rap disaster, yeah. You know you want it how you want it. No need to trip cause I got it, doggone it. It's all yours and the extras too. All the super music and the sex for who? Just get it straight cause you caught me in a good mood. Let me demonstrate what this time of year could do.